Good morning and thanks so much for tuning in. This is Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. My name is Alex Matthew and with me is Cheryl D'Souza. We'll take you through the next 1 hour of trade. And Cheryl, it's a bit of a wobbly start, but that is par for the course considering the kind of gains that we've had over the past 5 days.
Absolutely, Alex, but nothing to be too perturbed about. Even though it's a wobbly start for the markets, it's not a sharp downtick or not a sharp uptick that we are seeing for the benchmark indices. As you can see on your screen, the Nifty chart, we are definitely off the day's lowest point, but we are in the negative territory. We are flat with a negative bias, ditto for the Sensex as well. But if you look at Nifty Bank and if you look at the broader markets, they are actually outperforming the benchmark indices in today's trading session. If you look at Nifty Bank, it is trading higher by over 150 points of 160 points. And you have broader markets, both of them are trading with gains of about 0.5% in the positive territory. Remember, you saw yesterday the crude see a sharp downtick, and today as well. Your NYMEX that's trading below the $100 per barrel mark. You have Brent that actually threatened to break below the $100 per barrel mark in the morning, but after that it actually recovered some lost ground. But nevertheless, the crude is down over 4%. You have the Chinese markets and the Hong Kong markets that actually started the day in deep negative territory. But then you had China come out with better set of eco data, economic data. That's their industrial output as their retail sales were much better. It was an upbeat one. So on back of that, you saw recovery in Shanghai as well as Hang Seng. And that kind of trickled down to SGX Nifty as well. And there you go. You have a flat trading session. Nothing to be worried about, like I said earlier as well, Alex. A couple of stocks you need to keep in focus. Definitely you need to keep in mind what's happening with Paytm. That particular counter was in the positive territory today. Apart from that, you have to keep a radar on the AC manufacturers. It's getting really hot in the city of Mumbai. And I think one of the reasons why you have the AC makers also benefiting from that particular move.
I've certainly started using the AC more.
Yeah, I right here also we are using it much more. I know our director would be the one who will agree to that, definitely. But let's take a look at what sort of queries have we got today, Alex, and let's introduce our experts as well.
Yeah, let's introduce our experts. We've got Mr. Chokalingam as well as Kunal Bothra joining in. Good morning to the both of you. A bit of a change in the format. We're starting with queries right off the bat. So I'm going to take the first query that's coming in, that has come in on WhatsApp. That's from Imran Alam. He's writing in from Kolkata. And he's got Vodafone Idea, which he's bought at slightly elevated levels of close to 15. And he's wondering whether he can add more at the current price. Mr. Chokalingam, quite a few developments in the telecom space. Vodafone Idea, not the bitter prospect that it was a short while back. Things are looking better for the company. But would you say things are looking good enough to add at the current price?
Arithmetically speaking, it's good for the company, not for the shareholder, because company can survive the way things are happening. But then what would happen on dilution of the equity? The EPS would go down to a couple of paisa. So therefore, I wouldn't suggest him to add. If he's losing money, he can continue to hold on.
Right. This one is for you, Kunal, and this is coming in from Kano Patel and wants to know about Bank Nifty. And also, you have Harshal wants to know whether it's the right time to buy banking stock. What's your take on Nifty Bank? Or do you see it actually leading the gains for the market from here on?
Well, I see the banking index to be one of the most strongest sectors going forward. The recovery in the banking stocks has been quite strong. Almost like a 2,000 pointer, 3,000 pointer recovery in the Bank Nifty in the last few trading sessions. So keeping that aspect in mind, I believe it could be a good prospect to try and chip into banking names. You can try and have a mix of more private sector banks, large cap ones, as well as few of the PSU banking stocks. I think a right mix can probably add on to a good spice to your portfolio as well over the near term.
And Kunal, you've been positive on banks for quite a while. You've said this on this program as well. But the next stock is Balkrishna Industries, or Balkrishna Tires actually. And we've got a question coming all the way from Dubai. Akshay is asking, Mr. Chokalingam, not a tire stock that we speak about very often. They have a large amount of exports and they have off-road tires, but they're a strong company. Would you suggest he's bought at levels of 1950? He's wondering whether he can hold on for 5 years, can even add more at this juncture.
For March results, before considering adding it, because tire industry uses derivative of oil and also the natural rubber. In the last 1 month, natural rubber prices have gone up by almost about 9,000 per ton. All of us know the oil price also have gone up almost 60% on year-on-year basis. So therefore, the input inflation will hit the tire maker as well as off-road tire makers like Balkrishna. So he can hold on for adding till this March results come.
Right. This next one that I have is coming in from Vivek, and he wants to know whether he should look to buy a couple of stocks. It is Coal India, Tata Power, NMDC, currently at this price. Vivek, a lot of stocks that you've asked, but Kunal, among these, which one do you think that Vivek can look to buy, Coal India or Tata Power or NMDC? Looks like it's more towards the power and the metal space.
See, I think all three of them are quite strong in terms of the picks, so you can probably have a proportioned mix towards these three names. But if I have to pick and choose one stock where there could be a slight degree of outperformance or more relative compared to the other two names, that would be from the private sector name. It's Tata Power because of the way the stock had outperformed. I've been consistently maintaining that Tata Power is a good buy around this 200 to 220 mark, and there were so many attempts. I think 4 or 5 attempts in the last 1 month where the stock has come back to those territories and it's bounced off from those levels quite smartly. So again, this indicates that there's a strong demand zone established for a stock like Tata Power. So keeping that as a strong support zone, I would suggest that you can look at Tata Power. But as I said, a better mix would be to try and directly proportionate your investments into these three names.
I'm coming back to you, Kunal, in this next one. Denny from the UK, one of our regular viewers, he's looking at buying a significant quantity in ITCs. Of course, this is subjective, significant as in he's planning to deploy 2 lakh rupees into this stock right now. Would you suggest that he can enter at these levels?
I would suggest yes. I think the stock is looking very attractive. In fact, today itself on the Chartbusters had covered the stock, sensing that the stock is now on the verge of a breaking out of that major resistance of 240. So 240 has been a big resistance for ITC for last 6-7 months. It's been trying to grapple through this range. If it crosses above that 240 mark, say closes over the next couple of trading sessions consecutively above this 240 levels, that could decisively mean a breakout. So the positioning is right in terms of stocks, and I believe a close about 240 could probably be more of an added confirmation that the stock has broken out of a major resistance and could start a major uptrend for itself. So if your view is more to with medium term and long term, I would definitely suggest a buy on ITC.
ITC, Kunal, I remember yesterday you actually used a phrase for all the ITC investors that it is no cushy, no gum for them. So they are on the neutral side given what has happened to the market. ITC is one particular stock that has decided not to disappoint its investors, at least in this sort of a correction, isn't it, Kunal?
Absolutely, Sharon.
One, and this one is coming in from Abhijit, and he's saying, should we exit ONGC and Oil India or hold on to this particular stock? He's saying that he's purchased both of these counters at about 500 shares at a price of about 90 rupees. What's your take on this one, Mr. Chokalingam? Oil India and ONGC, beneficiary of a rise in the crude oil prices, but over the longer term, do you think that makes sense to stay put with these?
I would suggest hold on for short term, but not for long term. In short term, the rise in gas and oil prices are positive, but in the medium to long term, the pain for the government will increase. So there is a possibility of, passing on directly or indirectly some subsidy burden on these companies. So therefore, in the short term, you should hold. If they run up another 10-15%, you should book profits.
Right. The next question is coming in from Sudha. She says that she's a senior citizen and she says that she's got SAIL at levels of 121. Kunal, this question's for you. She's asking whether to hold this or should she book loss at this juncture. Are there any other stocks that you would suggest she can shift to if you are suggesting a booking of loss?
See, I think it's interesting because the viewer is a senior citizen, and I think SAIL has been one of the more high beta names. So I think if you and steel, of course, and metals, of course, have been one of the more high beta sectors relatively as well. So you have two things which are not working in your favor: a high beta sector as well as a within a high beta sector you have one of the highest beta stock in the category. So my sense is that if you want to stick to the sector, then come back to a stock which is far more stable, has a moderate amount of beta, and tends to do more consistently well. Doesn't have those high volatile moves for itself. So if you want to shift, I would suggest shift towards either a stock like Tata Steel or JSW Steel. They could be far more better bets relative to sale. And if you want to shift completely to a different sector, then I believe banking stocks are the ones where you should definitely look to trade upon. Even ITC at current levels, of course, other than banking stocks, ITC as well looks very attractive. So that will also help you reduce the beta of your portfolio, get dividends, consistently, as well as look out for more capital appreciation. So you can pick and choose relative, stocks from the other sectors. I think a churn or shift is a must. Looking at the portfolio and specifically looking at sale as one of the picks which you are already holding.
Right. On that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. Hang in there, Mr. Chokhalingam as well as Kunal. We will be back with more queries. Also, viewers, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
पावर्ड बाय ईबिक्स कैश, हर खुशी के लिए काफी है। को पावर्ड बाय यूनियन बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, गुड पीपल टू बैंक विद। को पावर्ड बाय मैजिक ब्रिक्स, प्रॉपर्टी सही और अब सर्विसेज सभी।
ईबिक्स कैश, हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।
मम्मी जी, आपने एसी ऑफ किया? मैं कर देती हूँ यहीं से।
वैसे मम्मी, ये एम्स्ट्रैड का वाईफाई स्मार्ट एसी है।
मेरे रोहन की चॉइस है। My clever baby. Get real. Get Amstrad.
किनोआ क्या होता है?
बेटा, it's a superfood which is rich source of protein.
यानी किनोआ खाना चाहिए।
Of course. अरे चोको स्प्रेड।
किनोआ वाला चोको स्प्रेड। नए न्यूट्रलाइट चोको स्प्रेड में है प्रोटीन युक्त सुपरफूड किनोआ।
रखो।
चोको स्प्रेड हेल्दियर हो गया।
काफी टाइम से मेरा इंक्रीमेंट
सीढ़ी के पहले पड़ाव पे हो अभी तुम, कल टॉप पे होंगे।
वो कल कभी नहीं आएगा दोस्त। आपकी सही कीमत समझने वाले हमेशा करते हैं सीधी बात, जैसे करता है IIFL फाइनेंस। IIFL गोल्ड लोन, ब्रांच में सोना दो, 5 मिनट में पैसा लो, ज्यादा लोन की रकम, झंझट सबसे कम। IIFL फाइनेंस, सीधी बात।
ये चलता है 30 दिनों तक।
देखते हैं। 25 दिन हो गए और ये खुशबू
अभी भी है और भी चलेगी, क्योंकि इसमें है नई पावर जेल टेक्नोलॉजी जो 30 दिनों तक बाथरूम को रखे लगातार खुशबूदार। नया गोदरेज है पावर पॉकेट।
नमस्ते बेटे।
आंटी, आप ही को मिस कर रहे थे।
अमित कहाँ रह गया बेटे?
आता ही होगा।
सॉरी छोड़ो, गिफ्ट का है।
लाया ना, एक बर्थडे गिफ्ट में कई बर्थडे गिफ्ट्स।
वो कैसे?
LIC की धनरेखा पॉलिसी, गारंटीड बेनिफिट्स, मनी बैक, मैच्योरिटी पे फुल पे आउट और सिर्फ हाफ टर्म तक का प्रीमियम पेमेंट। अब फिर पत्नी जी इसके साथ जो चाहे करे, ज्वेलरी शॉपिंग, हाउस रेनोवेशन, हॉलिडे।
और उसके लिए तो टाइम पे आओगे ना?
गारंटी।
आज नए भारत की प्रगति देश के कोने कोने को छू रही है, लेकिन क्या आप जानते हैं कि इस प्रगति को गति कहां से मिल रही है? ये आपका आयकर ही है जो इस प्रगति को नई ऊर्जा प्रदान कर रहा है और विकास की विभिन्न योजनाओं को सार्थक बना रहा है। तो आगे बढ़िए और अपनी जिम्मेदारी निभाइए। निर्धारण वर्ष 2021-22 की अपनी आयकर रिटर्न 15 मार्च तक फाइल कीजिए। याद रखें, उन सभी करदाताओं को जिनके खातों का ऑडिट अनिवार्य है, निर्धारण वर्ष 2021-22 की अपनी टैक्स रिटर्न 15 मार्च 2022 तक फाइल करनी होगी। ड्यू डेट तक टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल न करने पर आपको ब्याज और जुर्माना लग सकता है तथा कोई भी अनएडजस्टेड बिजनेस लॉस या कैपिटल लॉस कैरी फॉरवर्ड नहीं होगा। अधिक जानकारी के लिए www.incometax.gov.in पर लॉग ऑन करें। प्रत्येक आयकरदाता एक राष्ट्र निर्माता।
Introducing Hetic telescopic draw runners for smooth and effortless draw movement. Heavy duty load carrying capacity of 45 kilos. Tested for 50,000 opening and closing cycles with a 10 years functional warranty. Hetic draw runners, made in India, made for the world.
NSE has consistently kept its service offerings keeping in mind the interests of the investors and evolving needs of a robust capital market. Investors express their confidence by preferring NSE as their go-to exchange for keeping interest of investors and market integrity above all. Investor education and awareness programs, easy access to markets, and prudent market practices. All these have helped the Indian investor to participate in the India growth story and trade with confidence.
Ebix Cash हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now, and we are taking viewer queries. A lot of you have written in. I'll continue taking queries, and we've got the next one coming in from Anup Sardesai. He's writing in from Goa. Thanks, Anup, for writing in. The question is, are these the right levels to enter Sanofi? And I'm going to come to you, Kunal, on this one. Just taking a look at the share price, it is currently trading at 7,332. But I'm just trying to identify whether he's talking about Sanofi or Sanofi Pharma. Sanofi India, that's it, the same thing. Trading at 7,332. Would you suggest this is a good time to enter?
It's been a quality stock. I think I remember tracking the stocks many years back when it was almost at 3,400, 500 rupees for itself. And then the stock has steadily done well. I think the previous high for the stock, or the lifetime high, which was set I think last year or the week prior to that, or the year prior to that, was I think 9,000 rupees for the stock price. So it's been a stock which has done reasonably well over the last 4 or 5 years. Now from those 9,000 levels, the stock has also corrected towards 7,300. So again, a good sizable correction of 20% plus, and that to get it into I would say a quality kind of a stock. So I would price wise I would suggest to buy, but the only catch over here is that the volumes are pretty low for Sanofi. I think the daily volumes are somewhere in the tune of 20,000 or 25,000 on an average. That would probably make you to have a sort of a difficulty in terms of having a sizable deployment in terms of capital over here. So from a smaller deployment perspective, I think current levels could be a good level where you can look to buy.
It's coming from Shanmuga Sundaram. Rallis India, 100 shares purchased at 280 rupees per share. Can I average it for 6 months holding period is what he's asking. What's your take on this one, Kunal? Rallis India, 100 shares, 280?
Well, I would suggest that yes, it looks attractive. The stock has done reasonably well on the longer term charts. It's below 200-day moving average. You can look to average, but a better alternative in terms of a stock from very similar kind of a sector, fertilizers, as such, I think would be GSFC. That stock as well looking very attractive. So if you can switch from Rallis to GSFC from a more short-term time scale, the chances are pretty much high that you can get some decent profits from your short-term investments on GSFC. But from a longer-term play, I think Rallis at current levels, you can also look to average.
Choklingam on Wipro, we've got Mr. Mathur who's writing in from Delhi. He says he's a senior citizen. He's holding on to Wipro for quite a while, and he says that he's willing to hold for the long term as well. He's bought at slightly elevated level, 651. So he's losing a little bit of ground. He's asking if he should continue holding or if he should shift to something else. Mr. Choklingam, this one's for you.
Yeah, which stock? Sorry.
Wipro is the name of the stock. He bought it slightly elevated level, 651.
Yeah, he can hold on to it, certainly. But I would not suggest him to add. In fact, we have done a comparative analysis of top 4 IT companies. TCS looks the best one because it spends a high proportion of income on employees and it has got the lowest attrition, which companies like Wipro and HCL Tech lack. So therefore, if you want to add, it is better to add TCS rather than Wipro.
All right. This one is from Mr. Bhandari. Wants a short-term view on IRFC. Would you be able to talk about this one, Kunal, given that I think it's a fairly recently listed counter. I think it's been over a year that has been listed. Will you be able to give your short-term view on this one?
Well, yes, Cheryl, and I would recommend that if it's very short-term kind of a query, then avoid the stock. I think it's going to a larger range or a consolidation for itself. No meaningful trends emerging out of the stock price over the near to medium term. So I would suggest an exit or an avoid, depending on your holdings or your current holdings on IRFC.
Gentlemen, do stay with us. We have to slip into another break, but we'll be back on the other side with more queries. Viewers, do stay tuned.
Bigs Cash हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।
चेक
जाना पड़ेगा।
अरे गेम छोड़ के
1 महीना हो गया कंप्लेंट किए हुए, बैंक रिफंड ही नहीं कर रहा है। कंप्लेंट करनी है।
अरे बैठिए बैठिए यहीं से कर लीजिए आरबीआई के ऑम्बुड्समैन को।
कैसे?
आरबीआई अधिकृत बैंक, एनबीएफसी या डिजिटल लेन देन के जितने भी प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, उनकी शिकायत आप कर सकते हैं घर बैठे बैठे आरबीआई के सीएमएस पोर्टल पर। ये हो गया चेकमेट। कंप्लेंट करेंगे क्या? आरबीआई कहता है
जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
कॉलेज के फ्रेंड्स आ रहे हैं 5 मिनट में।
भाई ये सफेद बाल नॉट योर स्टाइल, कलर कर लो।
5 मिनट में इम्पॉसिबल।
पॉसिबल। शैम्पू है कलर गोदरेज एक्सपर्ट से। इसमें है आंवला और शिकाकाई। खुद लगाओ और 5 मिनट में बाल दिखे नेचुरल ब्लैक, सॉफ्टर और शाइनियर।
वाओ, 5 मिनट में
और चले पूरा महीना।
गोदरेज एक्सपर्ट शैम्पू है कलर।
Realize your dreams with Canara Bank at low and attractive interest rate. Reach us at your convenience. Canara Bank. Together we can.
मैडम जी वो सारे पैसे लेके भाग गए और मेरा वड़ा पाव भी ले गए।
दिखाते हैं इनको।
मोटे वड़ा पाव।
डीलर निकाल दे इसके बाद।
पंक्चर के बाद भी इससे हवा नहीं निकलेगी क्योंकि ये है जेके पंक्चर गार्ड टायर जो कील लगने के बाद भी होता है हील। जेके पंक्चर गार्ड टायर, अब हवा नहीं निकलेगी।
कविता, मैं अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट लिमिट तक पहुंच गया हूं यार। काश कोई ऐसा इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान होता जो मुझे एडिशनल टैक्स बेनिफिट देता।
रवि, बस इतनी सी बात, तुम एनपीएस पे क्यों नहीं इन्वेस्ट करती?
एनपीएस, इसमें इन्वेस्ट करने से क्या बेनिफिट है?
एनपीएस देता है 50,000 तक की इन्वेस्टमेंट पर एडिशनल टैक्स बेनिफिट, वो भी 1.5 लाख की लिमिट के ऊपर।
अरे वाह, अब तो मुझे भी इसमें इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए ना?
तो इंतजार किस बात का? आज ही एनपीएस ट्रस्ट की वेबसाइट पर जाओ और इन्वेस्ट करो।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर सब्जेक्ट टू मार्केट रिस्क्स।
Ready? Not just ready, ever ready.
Give me red! Give me red! Give me red!
इंडिया है एवर रेडी।
Give me red!
A vision becomes a milestone when it helps make a cleaner, smarter, and a more beautiful planet. So that you can set off on joyous new journeys and adventures. Building stronger bonds and bridging impossible distances, which take you from the ever new to the forever beautiful. Opening up vistas and windows to a vibrant new world. A vision becomes a milestone when it touches millions of lives. Aditya Birla Group. Big in your life.
Deal only with registered intermediaries and check the registration certificate of the intermediary you are dealing with. Please ensure to fill all the required details in the KYC document by yourself. And don't forget to take a duly signed copy of the KYC document from your broker. Always keep your mobile number and your email ID updated with your broker.
एनएसई द्वारा निवेशकों के हित में जारी।
हिबिक्स कैश हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now, and let's kickstart with the queries segment then. Let's kickstart with the rapid fire segment I meant. Let me take this first one to you, Kunal. And Amy wants to know, would it be prudent to short Tata Consumers at around 770 rupees per share, around his 200 DMA levels?
Not at all. I would suggest to avoid this trade.
Okay, Gujarat Gas for the long term. Mr. Chokalingam, would you suggest a fresh buy?
Yeah, on decline one can buy for the long term.
Nachi wants to know whether it's good to buy Lemon Tree Hotels for the short term. What's your take on this one, Kunal?
I would suggest yes, go ahead. I think the stock looks attractive. On the verge of a big breakout, you can.
Dhriti wants to know about a long-term shift from Dr. Reddy's Laboratories to Soba developers. What's the view, Mr. Chokalingam?
I won't do that. Maybe he can consider from pharma Dr. Reddy to something like Divi's or Alcom rather than to real estate developer at this moment.
Right, this one from Shushrit, and he's saying that he has 1,000 shares of Trident, purchased at 23 rupees per share. Should I book profit or hold for some more time? What's your take, Kunal?
I think if you're not in a hurry of any kind of a cash, you should definitely look to hold.
Mr. Chokalingam, Poonam wants to know about Jubilant Foodworks. At today's rate, would you suggest a fresh buy considering the drop that we've seen in the recent past?
Yeah, price policy is attractive, but valuation is still stretched. But long-term investor can buy at current period.
Okay, one of our viewers wants to know whether auto sector, is it good time to buy the auto sector, especially Tata Motors? Do you think that, Kunal?
Well, I would suggest yes, Tata Motors, but I would also suggest two other stocks, M&M as well as Eicher Motors in the same order.
Kunal, what about Maruti Suzuki? Is this a good time to accumulate in the short term?
Yes, possibly. Maruti also.
Okay, I
Maruti
think
is a bit high volatile kind of stock.
All right, my director has told me I can ask one more query. So let me take this one that I've got from Jyotsna. What we've already asked about Tata Motors, Jyotsna. Nevertheless, Shushrit wants to know about Wellspun India. 132 rupees is the buy price, 800 shares. Should he sell Wellspun India and enter Trident is what he's asking, Kunal.
Well, I would suggest to hold on to Wellspun, and this is a good level where you can do average.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time. Always a pleasure speaking to the both of you. And viewers,